Okay. Good afternoon, YouTube. We are in a review. Chris will be joining me shortly. I'm just getting things started. I need to adjust my sound a bit. I think the game is significantly louder than I am. We'll see how that works. Alright. Alrighty. Pausing is working. Flight path. I'm just looking at the map, reminding myself what did happen. Actually, we'll be backing up, so let's just see how this is going to look. Chris was my partner here, Tyrith. We just had ourselves a fantastic fight of a game. Bit of an interesting start. There was a bit of a lull in the middle. Going to the late game was fantastic. Sphere of influence. So coming in. Sweet.
Whew. Okay. So, hold on a second. Okay, I got a pen. Wait, hold on a second. What if I...
Yep.
I don't have to write it down. Can use Notepad. All right. So when you're ready, let's do it.
I am in replay with the stream up.
Okay. We know when you're ready to start.
We're out of the plane. I was just checking everything. I lowered the in-game volume, so that should be quieter.
What time are you at right now?
Paused at 1:13.
Okay, let me get there. All right, I'm paused at 1:13.
What I'm thinking is we'll just play it at normal speed, and we'll just let it run. And for the time being, we'll just let it keep running at 1. Try not to worry about jumping back or missing anything or whatever. Like, take your notes and stuff like that, and let's just. Okay, ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3.
And we're streaming right now to YouTube?
Yeah.
Cool. First duo of the night is a win.
Yep. Good way to start the night.
Got my water, got my chips, my Doritos.
So for me, I landed way off from where I intended. Team 22 here landed where I wanted to, but they had a better landing, so I had to go off the other direction. Why didn't you land back at... Can I make a...
I missed my jump. I jumped.
Oh,
yeah.
Like, I mean, I see where you're running to, but there's
Yep.
one of those places that you ran past that you basically dropped at.
Yeah, so when you said these two guys were in the middle, and we've got this little courtyard here, I didn't want to fall too far back, and I didn't want my timing push to be off, because in the early game you have to get right into a good position, and so I didn't want to be back at these buildings and then come up to the right side as they were moving to the right. Because you can see at about 220, Fishy 18 actually comes across a little bit. He actually goes back, but we might have met at the restaurants, and I was just trying to avoid a possible confrontation if my timing was off. So I wanted to loot these buildings and then be able to pull back and then re-loot them. Those buildings have good loot. I didn't want them to get those buildings in particular. So it was a little risky, but it paid off.
Okay, interesting.
You were definitely correct. We had JRH, 62, and Fishy in between us.
joined by Body Lotion.
Body. Hello.
With his intro music.
We're definitely #1. This was a win, baby.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And we're reviewing it right now. My
Nice.
stream should be up. Let's see what Team 22 had. So we've got level 1 vest and armor on that guy with a Winchester pistol. And
I was
his buddy.
pointing out this morning that our win rate has gone up considerably on this map compared to the other map, because this map actually takes skill instead of you just randomly getting picked off running through fields.
You can still get screwed over by the blue zone, but there's more
Not as-
mitigation that
yeah.
you can do.
It's like, yeah, being smart is much more effective on this map.
So Fishy had a level 3 backpack Winchester M4, so he was fairly kitted from that building.
That M4 bumped him up a lot. The Winchester is pretty good. The Winchester against level 1 vest will do 50% of your health. So that's a 2-shot to the chest. Level 1 helmet, it'll 1-shot you.
Yes,
One-hit
it'll
knockout.
bring you down. And so the Winchester is definitely a good, viable option for that. A little more distance in the shotgun, too.
Yeah. I'm picking it, like, so my general running pattern, I try to run with an assault rifle and a sniper rifle. So the Winchester works as an entry sniper. But any of the other ones, I would pick up over it, unfortunately. I like it. It's got the fire rate is high, and its iron sights are really good. But I will generally drop it for any other weapon. Though I've been thinking that for keeping it for the end game, so it's like in the middle game, you might be shooting at people 200-300 meters away. Yeah, you're not going to be able to use it with Winchester. When you get to those final shrinks, you know, top 5, 6 people left, it comes back around to being really viable again because it's got the fire rate, so you can just pump 2-3 rounds into somebody real quick, and potentially their head, and you don't need 4 8x. Like, I can't wait. If they put a red dot on the Winchester, I will seriously consider keeping that as a weapon for the end.
Oh, I agree. Completely. So at about the 6-minute mark, they were together in between us, but because we checked the drop, then we knew approximately where they were going to be, and we knew it was fairly safe to kind of roam the city. There's actually another 2-man team, but they're so far off in another direction that we kind of didn't really worry about them too much.
Yeah, I figured the city was pretty empty, given the drop that we had. You went back to the position where I thought you were going to start at, and that's what I was asking about it earlier. So
Yeah,
that's interesting.
and comparatively, if you look at my gear versus Fishy's, he had the level 2 he had the level 2 helm, and he had some other fairly tier 2 gears, you would call it, but I had come out on top with a lot of sniper rifles, a level 3 helm, fairly kitted M4, and then some other items that would progress me into the mid game. And so that's sort of why I like that choice of buildings before, is to kind of secure those, because that's going to have the lucrative loot. So it did sacrifice some of my positioning because we're not together, but I still feel like if I can get over 2 VK, then I can help him out much more effectively.
Yeah, I think our splitting worked out quite well. With the city being very low population, we knew about where those guys were. So their general path was to go south, so I was already ahead of them, headed south into the city, so I stayed away from them. So even though we're split apart, the risk is mitigated by knowing where approximately they are. Which I say that, and then I do believe I ended up running into them. That should be coming up right now. I'm at 725, and I think JRH and I are about to run into each other.
Right, and I actually did like your position, too, because if you had been outside, you could have seen them cross the road, but at the same time, you know he's coming up, so here's the engagement. So 1v1.
He had no idea.
He just didn't know. Yeah, he definitely split from his teammate.
Yeah, they split thinking they were safe. And so he found the red gull in the room and was like, oh, sweet, this hasn't been looted yet. And then, surprise, I'm here. I just hadn't gotten to that room yet.
Yeah, it gives him a false sense of security. And I really like your retreat here. This is important in the early game because you can use that third-person camera to secure that room.
Yeah.
And that entryway.
So I ended up checking at some point the door behind me because I was like, okay, so I've got this corner, and so I can see anyone that's going to come at me, and I just wanted to double check that like there was a door behind me and that it was closed. But yeah, I just held the corner because it's like, I am fully defensive and nothing can get to me without me knowing.
Yeah, and by killing that guy, quite possibly the other guy's nearby. So this allows me to roundabout push back up onto my teammate. And by communicating, we know that we're in a good defensive position in a 2v1. Here comes Fishy. Seeing at this point, Fishy's still rolling the level 2 helm with the Winchester M4. And I feel like at this point, we've been able to get the gear we need to encounter these situations much more effectively.
Yeah, the JRH or whatever his name was, the first guy, he only had that level 1 vest, so at point blank with a fully automatic M4, I just pumped a magazine into him before he knew what was going on, and he was downed and dead.
Just a quick kill.
Yeah, quick kill. I think level 1, tier 1 items only protect like 35% of the damage or something like that.
Mm-hmm. In a more ideal situation, specifically for pub, you'd want to try to down the guy and maybe use that as bait to pull out his other teammate. But in this situation, I think you did really good. You just finished him and then wait for that next guy to come in.
Right. If I'd had more warning and knew, like, if I knew about where his teammate was, I could have used him as bait. But that really wasn't going to be an option because it was kind of a surprise engagement. So it's just, I'm just going to end this guy, and his teammate's probably just going to want to try and come and kill me. I can't leave him alive to continue looking around as a camera and try and report back where I am and what I'm doing. So I just need him dead as soon as possible. Fishy is still looking. He is still trying to see and find and wait and listen. But I waited him out on that.
And this is kind of that interesting mode where pub has really streamlined the segments of the game. This is that beginning phase where you're just coming into the second phase of the game, where you've looted and you're ready to fight it out. But here he's just going to try to completely disengage, and he just takes the truck, and then you light him up.
Jump ahead? Because I'm still back at 1050.
Oh, you are? Okay,
yeah.
Back up. What the heck? I may have misclicked.
Or maybe you sped up or slowed down or something like that.
Possibly, out of habit.
So, yeah, at 11 minutes, I just saw him, and then we start doing a little tango around the walls. He's going north, we're going south. Everyone's running past each other.
What are you at now?
11:15.
Okay, cool.
So we're headed east, looking for him.
There it is.
Watching us, and then says, "Peace, motherfuckers." He runs to the truck.
Oh, this was a point I was going to make earlier, is we split here. We're still not so close together. And then the truck will
From his perspective, man, that truck is just...
Yeah, that's popcorn on his fenders. All those bullet holes.
Just take out the vehicle.
Right? Look at that shoulder wound. He's going to bleed out.
Yep. He starts doing some bandages. I'm guessing he doesn't have first aid then? Because that is definitely a spot where you probably want to use first aid, given that you know you're about to get shot again. You need as much health as possible to try to make this evac. So here, yeah, I ran up to the running vehicle. I was kind of wanting to chase him, but you saw the red crate especially, so then I head back and start going towards you, and I was like, yeah, we'll meet up with him again, I'm sure. So Fishy 18, Team 22. We'll see if we actually ran into him again. I think we did, but I'm not sure. Oh, here's that other truck. Okay, the Team 40 showing up. Popped the driver and the left tire.
It looked like he drove down, and the tire just popped in midair.
Basically. Yeah, I lit that thing up, and he just dropped. The best part was, so, 40 Ang Yui. He had a level 3 helmet on, perfect condition. So when we just lit up the truck, he just took everything in the chest and arms, and so I got to upgrade to a level 3 helmet there. That was really helpful.
That is awesome. Just to tag that out.
I'm standing on his body, taking painkillers, so that I have space to pick up more painkillers. I end up going
like a mobile pharmacy.
Yeah, right? Drugstore are us. Drugs are us. So I'll bring up the truck. So it was an interesting thought. Like, so I was using it to try and help block, make sure that you weren't about to get shot from him or anything.
Yeah.
And then kind of just as a roadblock, but then that jumps me out on his side, and so as soon as I did that, I went, huh, not how I should have done this. I should have tried to pull a U-turn or something like that, so that I would jump out away from him, or change positions and then jump out, because jumping out on his side, he could have just lit me up, and I was only at half health. He could have just dropped me and killed me.
Yeah, like this is it's one of those moments where you've just entered the mid-game and you're not really sure, you know, are they going to pop my tire? Do I use the vehicle as cover? And there's a lot of different decisions you can do here. So there's no clear-cut answer. The best answer is how do I get to the next phase of the game? So like either answer could have worked. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you don't want to jump out, just be opening the door to accepting some friendly bullets.
Yep.
Or enemy bullets.
Remember, children, friendly fire isn't.
Right.
So Fishy is running. Is he who we ended up? Oh, yep. I think he's headed towards that. He's gonna go pick up that bike on the road, and I think and that was him. And so I think we chased him down all the way. What about Team 24? What are they up to? Oh, they got the red crate. Oh, was that where the guy got the Groza? I think Team 24, the guy that currently has the Groza out of Team 24 is Seguin. I think he dies and Angry.
Yep.
His buddy in the yellow tracksuit picks it up because I think that's who we kill for it later.
Yeah, he's rocking the Beetle van. Oh, and here gets downed.
Where are you?
At the 16-minute mark.
I'm at 15:34.
Why am I so much faster than you? Okay, hold on a sec. I wish it showed your speed.
Right? They'll get that eventually. Just make sure that you're at normal speed, not...
What is normal speed from... How many up arrows do I have to hit to go to normal speed from the lowest speed?
Let's do that. Okay, I would say... 2... I would say 3.
What's your timestamp?
16, 15, 17, 18...
16, 23, 24?
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. So, we're fighting Fishy here. So he tagged me with the Winchester there. It took about a third of my health off.
Ooh! There was a really good move right there where he went to shoot me and you got him.
Yeah, no, we were ducking in between each other. And I was definitely playing into that because he shot, I think both of us. Like, I know he shot at you. He hit me. Like, he was having to switch targets. And so as you were bouncing in and out, I was trying to basically oscillate with you so that he couldn't keep a steady target on either one of us.
Yeah, that was a really good shot. It's a really good power play on a 2v1. Take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
So the main reason why we came up here and did this in the mid-game is because we know this guy's by himself. We know these rocks are going to provide cover. So if we can just get this kill, secure us a lot more gear, and just puts us in a really good position.
Yeah, so I'm up on the map, farther, and so you can see some interesting things. Pink Girl is apparently out in a boat. See Team 10.
What's she doing out there?
Sitting in a boat. If you actually, like, on my replay, his boat is just, like, sounds like it's constantly crashing into something. But I think he's just sitting and waiting. But yeah, if we look at the circle here, there is nobody around. Like, this was a very safe place to set up shop. On the rock, we were fairly confident with our entry onto our current position that there really wasn't anyone near us. Like, direct, like, because there's a bunch of just open territory. And so then everyone has to be to our north, which is, we're a little exposed, but we know that that's where they're coming from. Like, it's not quite a fatal funnel, but that's the direction we look. We ended up, and that's where we ended up seeing some people eventually. Looking over here at, I think, Team 24, yeah, the Angry Midgets, that's his name. So it's just down to him out of, for Team 24, and he's got the Groza, so I'm guessing his buddy died, maybe DC'd or something, because he was out in the blue zone for a long time and just got in. But it's just us. We've got Pink Girl has landed, Angry Midgets, and Permanent Zero. Permanent Zero is watching his back on the blue. He's got
I think Angry Midgets might have actually seen us. He's got an SKS and an 8X. And he looks in our direction, but thankfully, because we're on that rock ledge and we're just skirting it, he doesn't get a clear shot.
He was actually he might have been the one that shot at us originally when we were fighting the last guy we killed on the rock there.
That's true, that's true.
Because, yeah, there was definitely a suppressed shot that came from behind, and that could have been from him. Yeah, we moved over closer to the blue side, again, so we had the blue being a wall that no one can be on the other side of realistically, and it's still just an open field, so anyone coming across it, they're taking damage. They're going to be easy to spot and kill. And then just watch to the north. Wait for the zone to just finally shrink.
And there's an interesting critical moment here where we definitely decided to leave that rock, like you said, go to the blue. And you kind of have to make that decision with some confidence that nobody's going to creep it behind you. And we had that because we had originally arrived here and nobody was initially shooting us, right? So we had the free reign to just move about.
Yep. So if you look up north from our position at Team 41, so that was that guy that I was like, is that a pixel rendering or is that?
There he is.
And there he is. He was running around. You were looking for him for a long time. I finally started shooting him here in a moment. He has lost his partner and has no kills, but decent little setup. I don't know if he's got. Doesn't look like he has any scopes though. That's a big problem. I don't think I ever hit him.
Oh, double X buoy.
Team 39, what has he got? He's got 4 kills.
He did something right somewhere.
Did something right somewhere, but lost his teammate in doing it though. Oh, that red crate just dropped, so I think X buoy might is either hit, so 41 or 39 either goes for the red crate. So we'll be finding out who actually ended up going for that. Our sphere of vision, mine's still on I guess the default or something like that, like 1 kilometer radius. And there's 21 people alive, and I'm looking around and I'm like, I think I see 7 people right now. Like, where is everyone? So 14 teams. So X Buoy's moving up on the red crate. Let's see how this goes for him.
He takes the buggy in. The buggy's quite loud.
Yeah, attracting a lot of attention.
Generally not something you want to do. And if you're definitely going for the win, it's very risky. He comes out the M249. That's a really nice upgrade.
Yeah, but somebody just shot at him. Team 10, it looks like. So Pink Girl has shown up and is shooting at him with an SKS.
She got out of that boat.
Mm-hmm. Just calmly, boom, boom.
And see, this is where the ghillie suit does not provide you shielding from bullets.
No. You see, Timo 7 was there too, looking down at the crate. Let's see, let's go. I'm pretty sure we ended up seeing him. Whoa, okay.
So Bibu actually does something really smart here. He actually leaves the white and sits right outside the edge of it.
Found out a bug. If you're watching in first person on somebody in a scope and then pop out of their vision, you stay in kind of a zoomed in 8x mode, something. Like
That's kind of neat.
Kind of neat, but I kind of have to wait for Pink Girl here to hopefully unscope so that I can stop watching her in first person. At least she's shooting at the guy that got ex-boy 39 there. Okay. Oh. Jump out. Okay, sweet. All right. Good. Camera corrected.
So if you're wondering why we haven't quite moved farther in yet, there's really no if you're playing for the win, there's no necessary decision you need to make if you've got this kind of cover until the shrink is actually pulled in.
Right. Yeah. We just stayed on these rocks to just we've got excellent cover, excellent vision. We did take some shots at Team 7 and 41, but there really wasn't anything to engage. It's suicidal for us to try and just run out for more kills. But as we move along here, the zone's shrinking, and hey, look at that! A bunch of other teams show up. There's just players all over the place. Let's get up on them and see if we can.
Angry Midgets is still in the game, just creeping through that town.
Yep. So looking over at the red crate, I'm just trying to watch some of the gunfights we had going on. So I've got a couple of solos and a couple of teams. Team 21 is looking like they're hunting Team 7. Team 39 and 41, they got to see each other now. Oh, okay.
Oh, VN11 goes down.
Yep. Cannon does he get it? Cannon gets it! Cannon gets the double kill.
Knocks him down.
Well done. What was he using for that? Just M4. Yeah, full auto M4. Got a nice kit on it. Yep. Looks like a full kit.
When you're coming in on that shrink, you got to watch those rocks in third-person mode, because every rock is a potential enemy player just camera sniping you.
Yep, it is the risk when you're playing third person that people can just camp behind something and just third person see around those corners, see over top of something.
Cannon Man should be named Kodak Man. Kodak camera.
Oh, Team 41 goes down too. So red crate and the guy that was fighting over the red crate with him have both died. So that red crate is pretty much out of the game. Doubtful anyone's gonna be able to loot those bodies. It's always interesting to see what red crates got picked up and whether or not they got used. Because, I mean, sometimes, you get those games where you get the red crate and then you never even see anyone. You get to the final game and, you don't even kill the last person. The guy,
right?
Second place kills third place and then dies outside the blue zone. And you're like, well, I just won with 0 kills and an M249 and an op and level 3 everything.
What's your timestamp?
I'm at 25:50 now.
Okay. So you can see so this is kind of where we go from the mid to the late game. You sort of have to make a decision here on how you're going to come into the next shrink.
I missed our kill on Team 24 there, and that's where we got the Groza.
The Groza, yeah. Midget goes down. And the main reason we took the bike in was because the bike allows us to close the gap between where our fortified defensive position and the next spot we know we need to be in.
Right. We were looking at the map and deciding we have to go into these buildings or run out. So the choices are A, run around in this open field with there's barely any hills and lackluster trees. So it's really, really dangerous to run around out there. Or we try a suicidal dive into these buildings. These buildings are very, very defendable. The buildings are always very defendable. But you have to get there. So we have to do a risky take maneuver. And if it plays out, we end up in a very strong defensive position. And it worked out here. We came in on the bike, and we were looking right when he stepped out to shoot us, and we just blew him away, and then without a buddy to pick him up, he just fell over dead, and we took up the position.
He revealed his position, and you just took advantage of it.
Yep. The yellow
VK gaming sense.
The yellow jumpsuit did not help. I have to say his choice of wares probably not the strongest.
Cancel your gym membership. Attire is not fitting. Oh, you had a level 3 vest. That's really nice.
Yeah, I think I ended up with level... Oh, am I still in the level 2 helmet? No, yeah, I got a 3 up. I was 3 up. And then when you gave me the suppressor on the M4, it was a fantastic setup. So
this third stage in the game, I feel really we're strengthened by the first stage because the suppressors and the good loot we found at the beginning just extends our lead that much farther by our loot giving us more options.
Right. It's a risky play splitting up, but we weighed that against the amount of loot that we could get to, and so we were able to each continue just looting and get a really good setup. Combine that with a couple of early kills, easy early kills without, struggling too much and like losing armor by taking too many hits. We were able to just curb stomp those kids and take their stuff too and just get really, really set up.
And I think a really good thing to note is this kill that you got here, because it was fairly quick, anybody that responded, because we have suppressors, we can quickly get successive kills and not reveal our position too much.
Right. I was actually, my biggest worry was somebody else in one of those other close buildings just hanging out. So actually, here we go. So we're moving up, and we were afraid of somebody being up here on the rocks, and Permanent was up here. Luckily, it was only the one. So you can see we're just kind of running between all of the pipes and stuff, just trying to keep some cover, trying to look around on the rocks.
And it looks like he did see us.
And then he starts shooting at me, and I just try and take cover. And he jumps down, just going full tilt. Oh, wow, he jumped all the way down right away. Oh, he took some damage from being outside the zone.
Yes, he did.
Oh, yeah, several ticks. And then I just sprayed straight through the stairs. It just...
Yeah.
It was...
That's something you really got to be careful of, because if you commit too late, he might have been able to commit earlier and maybe gotten one of us downed and then used this as bait, but he played it a little too safe and ended up paying for it by putting himself out of position. He had a really good spot where he was.
I think he should have stayed up on the top ridge. So that last jump down that he did where he ended up outside, he should have stayed up on that other ledge and tried to fight us from the higher position using the third-person camera to see over top.
You can't apply damage if you're dead.
Always the case. So here in this house, again, defendable, buildings are defendable, but they're not perfect. Because, like, this crane, if somebody came over and was in and amongst these cranes, so to our northeast, that whole hill has total dominance over this house. They can throw down nades, and it's just total better position. That was my major concern if anyone was going to be up there, but it turned out that no one did go up there. They were all coming in from the north. Which makes sense, because that's where the teams ended up having to come through. No one ended up being able to sweep through from the south, because all of the teams were just to the north. We're just... Okay, go ahead. I'm just...
Oh, you're fine. I think you bring up a good point about that end of the late game where you're in the house, but the house isn't fully protected. It's not invincible. Yeah, you still need to worry about other angles of attack, and the crane is a really good thing to be wary of.
It being also, it's a small one-room house, so you land a nade inside of there, done. So coming up on this, so they just killed off the other team, so now they know that they're facing at most two players, right? It's a 2v2. We don't know it's a 2v2, and in fact, when I saw how split up they were, I thought they might be two solos, but then Mocha didn't ever shoot at Gogo, and so I started to figure out that, yeah, they're probably... Okay, yeah, that nade...
Yeah, he did the right thing. I think he made the right play with the nade.
Yep, exactly.
I like that.
And that was what I was scared about in that lower position, that it's really susceptible to nades.
So here we see what happens when you get out of position. Mm-hmm. We should have been more together because we're near the house. I left the house and I got picked off for that. So we see here. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that was when they split up on me. And I knew that they weren't going to fight each other. I knew I could just keep my back to the house. I love that. Oh, I love that jump. We'll keep talking about this here. Well done. I kept my back to the house, and I knew I'd finish that guy, just down that guy out in the field, and then as soon as he's down, now it's a 1v1. Because he is never going to be able to pick up his buddy when they're split like that.
And when you're down, you can't shoot back.
Exactly. Luckily, so when you got downed, I was able to use an entire med kit, not just a first aid, but a med kit, and heal all the way back to full. And
that's a good point.
Yep, and I had a little bit. I would have liked to have had more booster, but I did have a little bit of booster still healing me, so as I took damage, I was still healing up a little bit.
And I think using the house is extremely important, because when you enter in this last 40 seconds of the game, you're sort of beyond the last stage. and you're sort of in this climax mode where the fourth stage is use my surroundings, right? And so you allow the house to be a benefit instead of just rushing inside of it and feeling better because you have 4 walls around you. That's not what's going to win you the game. Well done.
We were watching it from his position. That was such an interesting choice on his part to jump down on me. I think that was a terrible decision that just lost him the game. Like, I mean, obviously it did, but like, I think he wanted to try and just take the roof and just be closer to me and be able to, like, say, if I was trying to just hug the walls, he was going to try and push me off of the walls. But
I think he wanted to silhouette you, sort of. But I feel that you're right, that by jumping down, he's making the same mistake as the last player that came down and got out of position. You have a good position. If you're out of nades...
He overextended.
Yeah, it's just it's a blatant example of overextension. Mm-hmm. You know, spray a few more rounds, navigate the situation, and understand what your surroundings are before you commit to jumping down. He still had 13 seconds on the clock when you jumped. That could have been 5 or 6 seconds where you pause, take a deep breath, analyze the situation, and try to decide if jumping down and getting in your opponent's face is actually the correct decision.
Oh yeah, he still had plenty of time, and I'm trying to actually look at close. What's the button? Spacebar or something. Zoom in. So from his position, we both had to go north. There was no reason for him to push me whatsoever. So I wasn't even paying attention to the fact that that it was shrinking. I was just totally in on the fight. So I could have actually gotten caught off guard by a blue zone shrink. But that fight, he should have just stayed up under the crane and then just forced me to come out from around the house to go into the middle and just shoot me from the higher ground.
And there was actually a gap between his cliff and the house. He could have simply dropped down into the gap and tried to fight you on the ground. That would have allowed him maybe a different angle, like maybe shot you through a window, maybe come around a corner, maybe if he has a smoke grenade, maybe pop that, try to cover the sounds of his footsteps. There just doesn't seem to be a lot of decision making there. It's sort of just rush in and die, and that's kind of what you want to avoid.
Yeah.
Well, so really good job on your part.
Yeah, thank you. I'll back this up and watch what you were seeing. So I'm watching you stepped out. We're both just skirting the lip, looking for targets.
I did actually wound him with the Groza. I went into the house to block suppress some of the grenade fire.
Grenades come down, you jump back inside. Oh yeah, I think you might have been looking in the wrong direction when you stepped back outside after the grenades.
Yes. Something to note though is that after I made the mistake of being outside too long, I could have cut around the other side of the house. I didn't crawl to my teammate, right? It reveals your teammate's position. So by going up near the cliff, it brings, if the enemy wants to finish me, it brings him closer to me and gives my friendly an opportunity to shoot him if he's going to finish me.
Right, yeah, I almost got the opportunity, like, because he had to come all the way to the edge of the cliff to shoot all the way to shoot straight down at you, and that really puts him in a dangerous spot.
That's a breakdown on duos. Mm-hmm. That went really well.
Yeah.
Way to finish it out. I am going to get more water now that I'm done with these Doritos.
Excellent. Good choice. I'm rewatching our assaulted angry midgets. Yeah, so I don't think I've actually seen it. So, my view on the other hand, looks something along these lines. I was driving, in, jump, look, see, and destroy. Just torched right through his chest. Really unfortunate for him. Alright. There we have it. What happened to those guys? What's up? Obliterate Pink Girl and Permanent. We're gonna kill each other a little bit.
I'm back.
Okay.
Is that the end of the episode?
Yeah, I was actually just seeing what happened to Permanent, Pink Girl. Oh, I guess I was over here watching one of the guys and didn't even see the kill. Well, what happened to Permanent? Oh, Permanent was the guy that then we killed. Okay, yeah, cool. All right. Yeah, call that a show.